before we get into this video, big fat spoiler alert. Big fat spoiler alert. If you haven't seen Breaking Bad, don't watch this video. If you haven't seen Better Call Saul, don't watch. I mean, if you want to, you can, but just know they're spoilers, so whatever. Alright, this video, I'm going to be talking about these Breaking Bad characters that I gave stands. Obviously, some of these are just stupid. This is not meant to be a super serious video, unlike the show, which is kind of serious. It's meant to just be a fun, stupid video. And I will put some of, I'll put a link to some of the original art that I used in this video, like Heisenberg stand, which is what first we'll go over. Heisenberg is one of them. The characters I'm going to go over in this video are Hank, Walter, Saul, Gus, and Jesse. So 5 all in all. I was thinking about putting Mike. I might do like a maybe part 2 if people like this video. I'll do like a part 2 with more Breaking Bad characters. But first I'm going to be going over Walter White, and his stand is named Heisenberg. I saw maybe Blue Crystal or something like that, but I named it Heisenberg. Heisenberg looks pretty clean, I think. Now the stand look, I'll put a link in the description, but it looks pretty clean. It's supposed to reference his like yellow lab coat suit that he used. Now, what Walter White and his stand Heisenberg can do, the abilities I gave it, I said Heisenberg can take things apart chemically, kind of like, just like he can take things like it. Let's just say like if he saw water, he can literally take it apart from the hydrogen and the oxygen, you know, H2O. He can take it apart, and he can take anything apart, but the bigger it is, or he can take apart people, but the bigger it is, the longer it takes for him to take it apart. He can literally separate these chemicals or these molecules on a different level, you know what I mean? On a microscopic level, he can do this, and he can put them in different things if he is in contact with them. And the way he does it, he needs to be touching this thing. Like, just say if it's like, I don't know, like an AirPod case, right? He takes it. It's not gonna take that long to take all the chemicals out of the AirPod case. And I would assume that there's a lot of chemicals in that shit, you know what I mean? A lot of molecules or whatever. Heisenberg over here can do all that shit, and he can stuff it in his bag. Can put it in the bag, you can put it anywhere, you know. Really do love this drawing. Whoever made this, I put it in the link in the description. It looks really nice, but he can't, so knowing how big this organism is, he can't just like instantly, he can't touch someone or touch a bigger object and instantly just like boom, now you know, you're a bunch of chemicals that he can just put whatever, you know. Obviously he can also see these chemicals, he can see them. If the person also has microscopic vision, they can see it, but Heisenberg can just see it already. But he can't just touch someone and take them apart instantly, because that would be way too OP. That would be OD. The dude can just touch someone and just, oh, now you're gone. You know, whatever. After Heisenberg, Walter White's stand was Heisenberg. Next is Hank's. Hank, now, I already know Hank doesn't like JoJo, you know, according to evidence. He kind of thinks it's a bruh.
I heard you watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I mean, what's really bizarre is the fact you get no bitches. I mean, I hear you love anime girls, but you can't talk to women. Yeah, well, the good news is you love Hank, so you're not all problematic. But then you watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
But Hank's stand is just a big golem guy made out of minerals. No, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking they're rocks. They're not rocks. Okay, they're minerals. They are minerals. Now, if the person he is fighting against calls his stand or anything this stand can do a rock, the golem or Hank's stand will gain 5 times strength. It's kind of like how it's like a trigger. You know how Josuke like gets mad because you make fun of his hair? Well, Hank gets mad if you call the minerals rocks. Now the stand name is Mineral, obviously, you know, it's a mineral. No, I know what you're thinking, this golem thing looks like a bunch of rocks. But that's the trick, okay? Just like Josuke's hair, it doesn't look the best. You know, no offense to Josuke, but it doesn't look the best. Just like Hank's stand, it's supposed to look like rocks. It's supposed to bait someone into saying that it's a rock, when in actuality, it is minerals. Now, his stand Mineral can throw rocks. I mean, oops! You see what I'm saying? I did it on accident. I literally did it on accident. And my boy Hank just gains power, and he can stack. He can stack that. You know, Josuke, it's just like... Josuke, it's just his mind. It's just his mental, like... Crazy Diamond doesn't physically necessarily get stronger, you know, I guess it's Tetsu's spirit, but like the golem mineral itself gets angry as well. So not only does Hank get angry, but Mineral gets angry too. So it's a double, you know, double power up kind of thing. Now Mineral can throw rocks, he can do a lot with rocks. He's basically an earthbender, basically. From Avatar, he's basically an earthbender. Now after Hank and Mineral is Saul Goodman and his stand Jimmy Hustle. Now I know what you're thinking. What is that stand? That looks ridiculous. Don't blame me. Whatever. I didn't know. Truly, like I didn't know what to do for Saul Goodman's stand design. Okay, I really didn't know, man. So I was just like, I want Saul's. Let's just get this out the way. Saul's stand, Saul, Jimmy, McGill. His stand is called Jimmy Hustle. You know, that clearly looks like a Jimmy Hustle, doesn't it? But the point of it is persuasion and almost hypnosis, used by lightning bolts from his fingertips. Now, his stand has a pretty big range. I'd say it's pretty big. It's like his range on his stand that he can, because he can also generate lightning bolts in his stand. Now, what his stand does with those lightning bolts from the fingertips is they put lightning bolts in their fingertips and send it to your brain, but they have to be touching your head. Him or his stand has to be touching his head. You know, if it's not, he can't really do anything. The stand range is not super big. It's like Star Platinum's, I'd say about like, I wouldn't say like super wide. I'd say like 2 meters, maybe 3, which is basically not too. That's really not a lot of range, but he basically can hypnotize people and persuade them to do anything he wants with the lightning bolts from his fingertips. That he puts it on your head, and the lightning bolts will go and send different signals to your brain. He needs to be in contact with your head though, and he can do this to anyone. And the stand can do this to other stands. So if, let's say, Jimmy Hustle, you know, that stand, you know, that looks like a Jimmy Hustle, yeah, you know. Let's say Jimmy Hustle puts its hands and sends, you know, the signals into like Mineral, you know, and says, oh, Mineral. Jimmy Hustle can't like make it do anything super drastic. You know, it can't be like, oh, kill yourself. You know, Jimmy Hustle can't do that. But it can do fairly strong stuff like play dead. Yes, that is kind of goofy, but it can do stuff like that. But it can't make you kill yourself. But it can make you hurt yourself in different ways. You know, it's a more mental and psychological stand. Kind of like Saul Goodman. He's more mental and psychological. But it can make you do some silly stuff. I bet Saul Goodman could use Jimmy Hustle to make Mineral or Hank himself do some little silly stuff.
Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Get the bad guy. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah. Bum, bum, bum.
Now, after After Jimmy Hustle and Saul Goodman stand is Gustavo Fring stand. Gustavo Fring stand is, I mean, look at it. It's like a big buff, like, dude, like some super jacked dude. You can tell it's the body of Biscuit from Baki. You can tell it's Biscuit Olive or whatever. Who cares? With the chicken head, chicken neck, but the head is a chicken skull, kind of like in reference with Gus's, head, kind of like showing his skull or whatever. It's a little reference. Now, Gus's stand, I genuinely could not think of too much great things for Gus. Like, I could not. I genuinely could not. But as you can see, what he's holding in his hand right there is a razor blade. What Gus can do with this stand is, one, it's a pretty far range stand, and the thing he can do with this stand is he can use razor blades to throw, or he can absorb these razor blades and store them for later. I could not think of a better stand. Like, I wanted it to do with razor blades. The stand is called Los Pollos El Hermanos, which is like his restaurant or whatever, I could not think of like a better stand for him. I genuinely couldn't think. Like, I wanted to do some, cause what could Gus like do? Like, maybe like the stand could have different abilities like intimidation, the sheer intimidation of the stand and Gus himself. But like, some people just don't get intimidated. Like Hector Salamanca just doesn't get intimidated like that. Like, I'm sure he does, but like sometimes he just didn't at the beginning. So I didn't know what to do for Gus. I just said he can use razor blades, store them in his body, put them in different stuff like his chicken, whatever. I didn't know what to do for Gus. You can tell me in the comments what you guys would think, what I should have done or could have done for what I should have done for Gus, because I didn't know what to do for him. I didn't know. Like, I wanted something with razor blades, but I didn't know exactly. But it's okay. Next is Jesse. Now, Jesse's stand. I wanted Jesse's stand. I didn't want him to have like a manifested stand almost. I don't know if every stand can do that, but he doesn't really do that. I wanted his stand to be a little different. Now, Jesse's stand is kind of goofy, but I wanted to put it a little more. What Jesse can do is he can summon 3 different people. Obviously, we all know who it is. Skinny Pete, Badger, and Combo. He can summon them different, or he could summon them all at the same time, but they can be beaten. If they are quote-unquote killed, Jesse doesn't die, but the thing is that they'll have a cooldown, You can't just like summon them. Badger's like dead. It has to be a cooldown. I'm thinking like a day, or maybe 3 hours. I don't know how big the cooldown has to be. I don't think a full day is a little wild. Maybe like 4 hours, 5 hours is the cooldown for each summonable stand thing, stand manifestation. But each of them can do different abilities. First is Badger, and Badger, I just gave a simple one. He can use a lightsaber. It's basically a lightsaber made of energy, almost kind of like Ki, kind of like Rose, but he's not the best. Like, it's a really strong thing, a lightsaber, that's really good, but he's not really the best with it necessarily. He still has a long way to go for Badger, because Badger's kind of a dumbass. I'm not even trying to be like a dick, but like, he's kind of like a dumbass. No offense to Badger. And Skinny Pete, he has his own dimension, basically. He needs to hold contact with any part of your body or your stand for at least 10 seconds, and he can take you to a different dimension. Now, this dimension, he doesn't necessarily control everything in it. It's just another dimension, but he's somewhat stronger in it. He gains a little bit of an upper hand in it. But he's not like a god in it. It's not the Speed Force, he's not a complete god, He's just a little bit stronger, and it gives a little bit more of a fair fight for him, at least, because Skinny Pete, right in the regular world and not in his special dimension, is not the strongest. He's fairly weak, but he has to hold you for a good 10 seconds. And you can get out of this dimension if you beat Skinny Pete, or if Jesse goes down. Not if Badger or Combo goes down. We'll get to Combo in a little bit. But Skinny Pete can take you to this different dimension and hold you there for basically as long as you want, unless you beat him or Jesse goes down or something like that. And after Skinny Pete is Combo. Now Combos is definitely a little obvious on what I made him do. Combo can combo you. Combo is basically like a Ryu. He's basically like a shoujo. He's like just there, you know. Combo can throw hands really good, but he doesn't have to be, and all three of these people don't have to be close to Jesse. Their range is basically infinite. They do not need to be near Jesse at all. Jesse can call them back. You know, he can call them back instantly, but they don't need to be near him. But Combo is just a really skilled hand-to-hand combat. But there's a big but. He has a weakness to children. Just a children like plus. If it's like a 12-year-old, you know, bruh. He didn't even take out his gun to shoot. He just kind of ran. So you know what the hell. But whatever, it's okay. But he doesn't have any other weakness than that. If you were a child like 12 or 13, 14 maybe, Combo just can't fight back. He just can't. You know, he literally just can't. He'll just run. He'll run and beg to be called back, or just go back forcefully himself. He's not fighting kids. You know, he doesn't fight them. You know, maybe it's a morale thing, or maybe he's just scared. You know, who knows? Who knows? It's a mystery to why Combo doesn't want to do that. But that's all the stands for this video. I would be happy to make a part 2 with Mike and with other characters, maybe Chuck, maybe just a bunch of different characters. Kim would be fun. Skylar, a lot of other characters would be fun to make if you guys really do like this video. But that's gonna be it for this video. Just tell me in the comments who you think better stand. Like for Gus, man, my bad. Like I think I did a solid job on his design. It looks stupid, but whatever. But his stand itself is just kind of a bruh. But that's gonna be it for this video. Peace.